athleticism.
Like a gazelle.
This video is going to be something a little bit different from us. As well as being van lifers and really enjoying travel, the other thing that's really important to us in our lives is our fitness. And a lot of people find it much more difficult to keep up with their fitness on the road. You know, you're always going to different places, you're traveling, maybe you're staying in hotels, campsites, whatever. So we're going to share with you 5 basic tips that we use to keep up with our fitness wherever we are in the world.
Tip number 1, walking. So we do loads of walking while we're on the road. We're always going to different places. Sometimes it's just walking from A to B. Sometimes it's a proper route like we're doing today. This is a 5-mile walk around the Black Downs National Park. A really simple one, everyone knows it already, but it is an underrated way of getting your exercise in. Also really simple, easy for beginners, and yeah, just a great all-round fitness. Get your steps in, people. Yeah, Trinidad cow poo. One of the great things about going for walks when you've travelled is that you get to go and see really cool places that you perhaps wouldn't have seen before. You get to go and explore the countryside of the local area, and who knows what you might stumble on.
Is this the beautiful countryside walking you were talking about?
Yes, stunning, isn't it? Okay, ready? Oh no, it moves!
Tip number 2 is to use calisthenics to kick things up a notch from just going for a walk. Calisthenics has the advantage of requiring somewhere between no and a very, very small amount of equipment, and they include exercises like squats, push-ups, dips, and pull-ups. Now, if you're new to this kind of exercise, you might find that some exercises, particularly things like dips and pull-ups, might not be available to you yet, so we'll show you a few easier variations that you can get going with.
If you can't do push-ups, here's a couple of variations. So, you can go down on your knees, make sure you're leaning your weight forwards and not pushing up backwards and sticking your bum in the air. You want to lean forwards, come down and up. You could also do push-ups against something that's raised to make it a little bit easier. Here's a good thing we can use here. You could do this on anything. You could do it on stairs, a kitchen counter, anything that's like a height that you feel comfortable with. Oh, that was harder than I thought it was going to be. As you can see, that can still be quite challenging. Oh man, not as strong as I thought.
Similarly to push-ups, if you can't do a full pull-up yet, which is quite an advanced move, it's quite difficult, you could try and find something like what I've got here. So some kind of raised surface that you can get your legs underneath, and then you can do this exercise instead. So that works really, really similar muscles to the pull-up, but it's just a lot easier because you've got your feet on the floor, so you're not lifting your whole body weight. And then you can also progress that as you get stronger, so you could find something that's even lower, like this, and do the same thing. Obviously it has to be something that you can get your legs under, so it has to be something with the space underneath it, but that can be used to train your back muscles and your bicep muscles in place of a pull-up.
So of course you've got your body weight squat, but if you need to regress that a little bit, if you're not used to doing squats, then what you can do is something called a box squat. So a box squat is where you would sit down on a surface, so say your kitchen chair, your sofa, or something in the park that you can find that's sort of a right kind of height for you. And then once you've got the box squat sorted, you can move on to a normal squat. And then once you've got the normal squat down, you can do quite a few repetitions of that. You can then move on to things like lunges, both forward and backward lunges. And then once you've got those down, you can move on to the split squats. Again, you just need something that you can put your foot onto, so that could be your kitchen chair, that could be something you find in a park, it could be your hotel bed where you're traveling. Once you've got your split squat down, you can then move on to something called a pistol squat. So you probably want to start with some regressions on this one, so you'd want to go back to doing similar to a box squat, but you do it on one leg. So you'd lift one leg, sit down and do your assisted pistol squat. And then from there, you can then move on to doing a full pistol squat, where you sink right down to the ground and lift yourself back up again, just on one leg.
This is still one of the free options, but if you wanted to invest just a little bit of extra money, you could get yourself some resistance bands. And what you can do with these is you can use them to make some of the exercises a little bit easier. So because you've got this really large elastic band, it can give you a lot of help out of the bottom of the movement on things like dips and pull-ups. And this can make those exercises a lot easier initially while you build up the strength to get stronger and stronger at them until you can do the full versions. Tip number 3.
Running! As an upgrade to walking, you can also do some running. We like to find local parks like where we are today, and it's a great place to run around. We also like to run along towpaths, along canals, or along the beachfront. Wherever you happen to be, it's something you can do literally anywhere. It's also something that you can tailor to your ability. If you can only do 30 seconds, then a 2-minute rest, and then another 30 seconds, then do that. There's no pressure, do whatever you can to your ability. Talking and running is hard. Running isn't something we do often, but it's usually after we've done a big hike up a high hill that we realise we need to improve our cardio, so we go and do some running in a place like this. If you're a beginner, something like Couch to 5K, some sort of beginner program like that is really good, it's really useful, and you'll be surprised how quickly you make improvements with it.
Massive shout out to me running backwards, filming all this, by the way.
Ah, it feels like you're chasing me.
Another thing you can do, which we've done before, if you fancy a bit more of a challenge or something that's a bit more of a community feel, is you can do a park run if you're in a country that does them. They run most Saturdays in various local areas. They're 5k, but you can walk them, you can run them, and it's a really nice kind of community feel because you're running with loads of other people. We did a park run recently at the Eden Project, and in that one you actually get into the Eden Project for free if you complete it. Park runs are a really cool option if you want to meet some local people and get kind of involved in the local community wherever you happen to find yourself.
Challenge yourself, do some sprinting.
Good. Puffing. We did say that we're not good at running. We do it, but we're not good at it.
Ready, steady, go.
Oh, that's not helping. Tip number 4.
Yoga and stretching. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Okay, go on, what we doing?
Exercise isn't all about cardio and strength. You also want to think about your mobility and keeping flexible.
Kind of like running, neither of us are particularly good at yoga, but we do like it for those stretching and mobility benefits. Jess is definitely better at this than me, definitely naturally more flexible, whereas I'm absolutely stiff as a board.
Yeah, it doesn't matter on your ability, just trying and doing what you can is what counts.
And it's a really nice way to relax, get some movement and some exercise in, but in a way that doesn't feel very taxing.
We'll show you a few of our favourite moves that are super simple and a great way to get a good stretch in.
At the moment I'm nursing a bit of back pain, so I keep my yoga and stretches really simple at the moment so as not to kind of aggravate that. So I'm doing a lot of things like the pigeon stretch, which is a really comfortable one for me. I also like that it's really kind of customizable, so you can move your foot to make it more comfortable for you if you can't get into the really deep stretch. You can kind of raise yourself up or stay lower to the ground. Another kind of classic yoga position is the child's pose, which again is really good for me at the moment. It also feels really, really good on your lower back because it kind of really gently stretches that out, and it's a really relaxing kind of mindful position. I mean, I've almost fallen asleep in that position before. I'm also doing a lot of just the basic toe touching for a really nice hamstring stretch. It's one you can do both sitting and standing.
Some of my favourite yoga poses are just your basic downward dog. It really stretches out the backs of your legs, especially your calves, which is great if you've done a run.
Cool back.
Cool back. There's also some great variations you can do. So I really like to sort of bend your knees as you're in the downward dog because that creates a really nice lower back stretch. And another thing you can do is a great hip opener. So you would lift one leg up, bend the knee and open it out to the side. That's a really nice way to sort of open up your hips and just feel that great stretch, and obviously do it on both sides. There's also your more traditional yoga moves such as Warrior 1 followed by Warrior 2, and then from those moves there's also lots of variations you can do. And if you want a bit more of a challenge, I totally recommend trying some one-legged stuff. It's a great way to work on your balance as well as your flexibility.
I never look very graceful doing yoga. You see like yoga with Adrian and it looks all graceful, and then I do it and I just look like a big lump.
Like a robot. Yeah. More. As a final extra, if like me you're super nervous to do exercise outside, whether it's running, calisthenics or yoga, then all I can say is just do it. If you want to go outside and do some exercise on a nice day, then go and do it, because you'll feel better for it and you will have forgotten the people that looked and wondered what you were doing anyway.
We're doing a voiceover for this final tip so as to not be antisocial in the gym, but of course buying a gym membership is always an option. Obviously this option is not free, but it does have some big advantages. This might seem very obvious, but I've been surprised by how few people know that for larger chain gyms like this Pure Gym, you can get access to hundreds of different gyms for the price of your monthly membership. This is a godsend if you're spending a lot of time in one country or a handful of countries where they have such a chain gym. We use Pure Gym when we're in the UK, but we've done exactly the same thing with Basic Fit in France and Spain. And we'll shortly be using Basic Fit again in Belgium, the Netherlands and Germany. The gyms I've mentioned also have the advantage that they all have showers, so we use our workout days as an opportunity to shower when we're not staying at a hotel or campsite. But we're not going to go into massive detail like we did with the calisthenics or the yoga, because that would take some time. There's a lot of different stuff you can do in a gym. But inductions and help from PTs or gym instructors are always available in the gym that you're using. So even though this is a paid option, we pay about £34 a month each. For the amount that we use the gym and for the value of having showers available, it's more than worth it for us. So we hope you enjoyed all those tips and found them useful, and thank you very much for watching. And if you've got anything else that you like to do when you're on the road or travelling that we haven't covered, write it in the comments.
Thanks guys, bye.